Okay, so today we are going to learn some concept related to time and distance. Okay, don't look at that. Okay, so we learned basic concept. What I have written here. So speed, distance, and time. So today we are going to learn the relationship between these three variables, but instead of one object, there will be two objects. So we already learned how to find the speed or time or distance given there is just one object. But today we are going to focus on two objects. Okay, so that will be kind of relative speed, although relative speed it's relative velocity, but just forget about that right now. So we will be talking about the relative speed. Okay, let's recap what we learned. So if an object is traveling at particular speed, let's say called s or v, we can represent speed as the first letter s, or v is for the velocity, but whatever you want to use. That's if we have to compute the value for the speed, then it will be like the distance it traveled divided by time it took to travel the distance. So let's say one example, a car is going from place A to place B, okay? And the distance between these two places is 90 miles. And it took 3 hours to reach to the destination B from A. So if I am asked what is the speed of the car, then what I will do, okay, how many miles? 90 miles, and how many hours? 3 hours. So I will divide distance by the time, and that will give me the speed of that car. And what will be the unit of speed? That will be unit of this thing divided by unit of this. So miles per hour. So either you can write like this, miles per hour, or miles per hour, whatever you want. So either way, or sometimes some people in shortcut they write mph, miles per hour. Or if we have different units, let's say kilometer, so we will write kilometer per hour and kilometer per hour, or k mph. Okay, this is up to you, just notation. Now what is the meaning of per? Per means in unit time. Okay, so if I say 30 miles per hour, it means in unit time, in 1 hour the car is traveling 30 miles. So don't get confused. Per means the unit time. Okay, now if you look at this formula, speed equal to distance by time, and let's say you have given some distance d from one place to another place. Okay, in that case, what will happen if you increase the speed? Will time will be less or more? It's will less time. So for any given distance, if you increase the speed, you will take less time to reach the place. And if you decrease the speed, it will take more time. Let's understand this using this same example. The distance between these two places, A and B, is given 90 miles. Okay. Now, if some, let's say we are driving our car at 30 miles per hour. In that case, 30 miles per hour, that will take 3 hours to reach place B. Now, instead of 30 miles, let's drive car at 40 miles per hour. What will happen? It will take just 2 hours. So that's why if you increase the speed, it will take less time. If you decrease the speed, it will take more time. So instead of 30, let's say 10 miles per hour. So what will happen? 90 divided by 10, 9 hours. So you decrease the speed, time increase. Got it? So remember this relationship between distance, speed and time. So it's true for the given distance. If the distance is changing, then we have to figure out the relationship. But if distance is constant, this relationship will be correct. So increase the speed, time will be less. Decrease the speed, time will be more. So this is based on we are recapping what we learned. And let's go through one example, then we'll move to the two objects. Okay, take an example. From place A to place B, the distance is let's say 15 miles. Okay, and let's say you took 45 minutes to reach from place, let's say, okay, 15 miles, okay, fine, something. Okay, so now if I ask you how many miles you can travel if you drive for 2 hours instead of 45 minutes. So you know, okay, 15 miles, you took 45 minutes. So what you will do, you'll find the speed. Let's say speed is S, then speed will be distance divided by time. Distance is miles and time is in minute. So I will convert 45 minutes to hours. So to convert 45 minutes into hours, what I have to do? 45 divided by 60. That will make it 45 by 60 hours. And then I have to solve this one. 15 times 60 divided by 45. So 320. That became 20 miles per hour. So my speed is 20 miles per hour. Now I'm asking you how many miles you will go if your speed is 20 miles per hour. So it's simple. So we found, what was the formula here? Speed was distance divided by time. You have speed 20 miles and time is 2 hours. So you can find from here D equal to S times T. Okay. So S is 20 and 20 miles per hour and then 2 hours. So that will give me 40 miles. Always remember, make sure the unit you are using is same everywhere. If you compute the speed like miles per minute and then you try to find how many miles it will go in 2 hours, then what you have to do, you have to again convert these 2 hours into minutes, because that's why try to keep the time in one single unit, or even if you have miles or kilometer, so try to convert miles to kilometer or kilometer to miles. So make sure whatever you have been given, the unit of those quantities are matching with the units of the variable you are asked for the calculation. Okay, if you use different units, the answer will be wrong. So this is the formula, like S equal to D by T, therefore D equal to S times T, means distance equal to speed time time, and unit should be similar for the given variables and the variables you are asked for the calculation. Now let's think about two objects in the distance and time. Let's say a train is here, one train A and train B, and the distance between these two, and they are at two stations. There are two stations here, and the distance between these two is 1200 miles. Okay. Now this train is traveling at the speed of let's say 70 miles per hour, and this one is traveling at 50 miles per hour, and this train is going towards this destination. Let's call destination A, and this is B, and this train is going towards this one. Okay, initial distance between these two is 1200 miles. So when these two trains will cross each other, okay, so So let's think about that. In that case, since these two trains are approaching each other, what we have to do, we have to sum the speed of those two trains. Okay, so what is the sum of these two? 70 plus 50 will be 120 miles per hour, and this is speed. And what is the distance here? D is 1200 miles. So after how many hours they will meet? So T will be D divided by S. So D is 1200 divided by 120. So after 10 hours, these two trains will meet. Okay? Now look at why we are summing the speed of those two trains. Did you understand the logic behind summing? Because every hour this train will go this direction. Let's say in 1 hour it will cover 70 miles. This train will cover 50 miles. It is not like this train has to go to place B. They will meet somewhere in between. Okay? And they both are covering some distance due to their 70 miles per hour speed and 50 miles per hour speed. So both are covering some distance to come closer to each other. That's why we are summing the speed of those two trains. Now, if those two trains are going away, what will happen? Or those two trains start from the same direction. Okay, you got it, this one? Okay, now let's take another example. So, person A, person B, okay, they start from one place going to another place B here. Both are driving a car, and this person is driving at let's say 30 miles per hour, and this person is driving at 45 miles per hour. Okay, so if they both start at the same time from the same place to go to place B, after how many hours they will be like 150 miles separated? So think about here. I'm asking like after how many hours the distance between person A and person B will be 150 miles. So now since they are going in the same direction, what we have to do? We have to subtract. Okay? So 45 minus 30, so that's 15 miles per hour, and I'm asking you to find the time for 150 miles. So D will be 150 miles and speed is 15 miles per hour. So time will be D divided by S. So you know this formula, S equal to D divided by T. So we can also write T equal to D divided by S. Same thing. Yes. So D divided by S will be D 150 miles and S is 15. So after 10 hours, the distance between person A and person B will be 150 miles. Now understand why we are subtracting here. So what's happening here? Every hour, this person is moving 45 miles and this person is moving 30 miles. So the distance between these two after each hour will be like 15 miles and number of hours they traveled. Okay, let's say if they travel for T hours, so distance will be 15 times T. And that's why to compute the time they will take to have a distance 150 miles between them, it's 10 hours. So remember, when they are traveling towards each other, like this person is going in this direction and this person is going in this direction, okay, opposite direction, we sum the speed. When they are traveling in the same direction, we have to subtract the speed. Got it? And did you understand why we are subtracting, why we are summing? Because when they are going to meet each other, in that case, what will happen? both will travel some distance in the given time. That's why we have to sum their speed. But if they are going in the same direction, what is happening? Both will cover some distance, but the distance will be less. That's why we have to subtract. Got it? So to memorize the thing, you understood the concept, why we are subtracting, why we are adding. But to memorize, when they are going in the opposite direction, it's addition. Because they are covering the distance together. At the same time, when they are going the same direction, although they are covering the distance, but distance is less. Okay? The separation between those two objects will be less because they are going the same direction. It's kind of race. If two cars are racing, so one, it's not like if some car is going at 25 miles and some car is going at 60 miles per hour, we don't have to sum because they are not going in opposite direction. They are going in the same direction. So that's why we have to find in a given unit time how far car 1 is from with respect to car B. So the distance between car A and car B will be like, okay, subtract the speed and then multiply by the time. So that's why you have to subtract or add. So you got the idea. Let's focus on some examples, okay? Then you will understand it more. Okay, two planes, one is plane A, okay, another plane is here. Okay, let's call it New York, okay, and this one is Albuquerque, ABQ, okay. So this plane starts from New York and it goes in, and this plane starts from here and comes to this place, okay, and there is some distance between New York and New Mexico, Albuquerque, I don't know. So assume that this plane is traveling at the speed of 400 miles per hour and this plane is going at 500 miles per hour, okay. And the distance between the aerial distance, not the road distance, the flight distance between New York and Albuquerque, let's say 1800 miles. Correct? Okay, now how can you find like at what time they will meet? So let's say without using any formula, as a layman try to solve this problem. So this plane starts flying at 500 miles per hour. So in 1 hour, how much distance it will cover? 500, correct? Because it's per hour. And this plane will cover 400. Okay? So now it covered 400 miles, let's say somewhere here, and it's somewhere here. So now what is the distance remaining between these two places? Earlier 1800, now it covered 500, it covered 400. So 500 gone, 400 gone, so 900 gone. So how much distance is left? 900 miles. So again it will cover 500, it will cover 400, they will meet somewhere here. So now you understand why we are summing. So now what we have to do? 400 plus 500, that will be the speed that we are going to use. So this is speed, and then 1800 mile is the distance between those two places. So time will be 1800 divided by 900. So that is 2 hours. Correct? You got it? So always remember, if they are moving in the opposite direction and when they will be hitting each other, meeting each other, so that means you have to sum the speed and given distance divided by the sum of the speed, That will give you the answer. Okay. And if they are moving in the same direction, you have to subtract the speed. Let's take another example. One example that we did not go through, and it's not based on the two objects. It's just based on one object. So let's say one object, car A. This is place A and this is place B. So this car travel. We don't know the speed distance between place A and place B. Okay, are you looking at me? We don't know the speed between distance between A and B. What we know, this car traveled for half of the distance at 40 miles per hour and half of the distance 60 miles per hour. Okay, so let's say you have to find the average speed of the car. How will you find? You will say, okay, it's 40 and 60, 40 plus 60 divided by 2. Is this correct answer? No, it's not correct. So how are we going to find the average speed of this car? If we are given just 40 miles per hour and 60 miles per hour for the first half of the distance and 60 miles per hour for the second half of the distance. So in this scenario, what we have to do, we have to find the time. Okay, first let's say this distance is, we don't know, we'll call it x. When we don't know anything, we will call it x. And this one also, let's call it x. Since half of the distance, so these two should be equal. So if the distance is x and the speed is 40 miles per hour, what will be the time? Let's call it time, first time, t1. Time will be distance divided by speed. Okay, and the time 2 will be this one, x divided by 60, correct? Distance divided by speed equal to time. Now what will be the total time? Total time will be t1 plus t2, correct? So it took, we don't know, these are the variables. We have to compute the average speed, but first we have to find the time for each of these distance x and x. So total time will be, so let's compute this one, x and x by 60. Okay, you can take x common and 1 by 40 plus 1 by 60. So that will be x times 123 plus 2. So x 5 by 120. So this is 24. That become x by 24. Correct? So total time this car took x by 24. Now what is the total distance between these two places? X plus x. So total distance is 2x and total time is x by 24. Can you compute the speed? Yeah, speed equal to distance by time. So distance is 2x and time is x by 24, which means 2x divided by x times 24, which is 48 miles per hour. So these are the steps you have to use to compute the average speed. It's not like 40. Okay, since same distance x and x, I will just take the sum divided by 2. No, it's not like that. You have to find the time. Okay, because it took different time to travel. Let's say this place is P. To reach P, it took x by 40 time. To reach B from P, it took x by 60. So my first thing is compute the time and find the total time here using t1 plus t2. And then you know the distance, total distance, x plus x, 2x, and your time is x by 24. That's why speed will be distance divided by time, and then you can find the answer. So, okay, now let's recap. We went through all the concepts related with speed, distance, and time. Basic thing like when one object is traveling, if speed is given, time is given, you can find the distance. If distance is given, time is given, you can find the speed. If distance and speed is given, you can find the time for one object. Then we learned about two objects when they are traveling in the same direction or traveling in the opposite direction, how we are going to find the time or how we are going to find the speed, all those things. Okay. And third thing, when you have just speed, like one object is going from place A to place B, and for some distance the speed was something, for some distance the speed was different. In that case, how to find the average speed. So these three things we learned today. Okay, the three new things. So I hope you got it, and you can look at the website to find the quiz based on these topics, and then see, we'll come to know how much did you understand. Okay.